Good afternoon. Happy to be here. Nice to meet all of you all. And for the veterans here with us today, thank you for your service. Like Gabriela said, I represent the south and the southwest part of town, District 4. So I'm your neighbor if you live in D3 or if you live in D5. But if you're just a San Antonian, I represent you on the city council in general. So I like to say that, right? So I'm always available for you. But thank you for joining us. And thank you, Ms. Cadena Gabriel, for inviting me today to connect small business owners and veterans, specifically with policy owners. I think that's something very important. And so to be able to have this type of conversation is definitely important to me. The district that I represent includes Lackland Air Force Base, and so we are Military City, USA. You might have noticed, and if you don't know, Sunday is the 75th anniversary of the Air Force. And so, so we celebrated at City Council on Thursday with a cake, and we did the tradition of cutting the cake and passing it from the oldest member to the youngest member. It was a beautiful celebration, but my favorite part about it was that this year's cake had a banner that I advocated for my colleagues last year to budget in this past year's budget to celebrate the 75th anniversary. So if you see those banners along Southwest Military and along some of our other Air Force bases, that was because I thought that we needed to have some celebration of the 75th anniversary, and my colleagues joined me and gave us money for it. So yay, I was really excited about that. So thank you. And congratulations to the Air Force. And so this panel, I think, definitely shows how committed the entire city is to sharing experiences, giving you wisdom, giving you some advice so that you could avoid maybe some of the pitfalls, right, that come with being small business owners during the pandemic. Maybe if you're a new business owner, etc. But this is the input that we need. We need to know how we can improve your conditions for small business. You might have heard that yesterday we passed the city's largest budget ever in the history of San Antonio. And I wanted to let you all know that this year, I also convinced my colleagues to give me some money, but it was for small businesses. And so one of the things that we got about $1 million invested specifically in addition to what was already budgeted, and it was to work with small business organizations so that they could come to you all and help you all where you need the help. The additional funding also, by the way, goes to construction funding, so preventing some of the displacement that occurs when there's bond projects that are going on in your area. We've heard a lot of restaurants that are affected by construction. Yes, there's unfortunately a price of progress, but it shouldn't be our small business owners that are out of their livelihoods, right? So I convinced my colleagues to give us some money in the department for the Economic Development Department to focus and work with Public Works on construction mitigation ideas, right? So hopefully we'll be reaching out to some of you all if you want to participate in there, or if you know someone that's been affected by construction. We want to get on top of that and be able to help our small businesses. In 2019, which is my first year on council, so this is my sophomore term, but I feel like I didn't have a freshman term where I was hazed because we had COVID that literally landed in Lackland, and then we had shutdown. I mean, you name it. Everything happened. Uri, everything, right? So I felt like I was really hazed. But the one thing that I did get to do before that happened was I submitted a city council consideration request. And again, I was able to convince my colleagues that we needed this to establish the Small Business Advocacy Committee. And so that it represents you all, right? And so, by the way, I encourage you to look to see if there's openings in your district. You want to be on that committee because that's the committee that hears directly from small business owners and basically advises the Economic and Workforce Development Committee, which I sit on with 4 other of my colleagues. We are the ones that make the decisions for business policy, right? And for economic and workforce development, anything economic and workforce development in the city comes through that committee first. So if you want to have that direct line, I highly encourage you to apply for the Small Business Advisory Committee if you have an opportunity. So we know that you all are the backbone of our community. There's no doubt. 97% of business comes historically from small businesses. However, a recent study that we did in our economic development department found that there's a little bit of a change, right? And larger businesses are gradually employing more and more San Antonio residents than in previous decades. This could be a number of reasons why, right? However, I still think that small business is part of what makes our local economy special, right? So we have to continue advocating for you all. And I think that the COVID-19 pandemic was definitely a wake-up call. But we feel that it's important for us to continue that direct line of communication. So thank you for being willing to be here tonight, and also for in the future considering being on that Small Business Advisory Commission. And then I also wanted to thank Soldiers Angels for hosting this forum and for offering this space for the productive dialogue. I know that our small business owners have been struggling to stay afloat, and so we appreciate every time that a small business owner says, come on into our home. We open our doors, so thank you very much for that. I also want to let you know that our Economic and Workforce Development Committee, we had $11 million in COVID impact grants that were budgeted. This one didn't take much convincing, but I convinced my colleagues to budget another $6 million for access to capital for small businesses. And so they did not fight me too much on that, because we all have small businesses in our area. We know how important it is to support you all. And so with the additional money that was budgeted yesterday with the ecosystem and with the city's newly formed construction mitigation program that I just told you all about, I think that we're going to have a really good year to start off and helping our small business owners beginning October the 1st. We've heard from small business owners directly at City Council. I've been going around also to the different areas and listening to small business owners, and it's organizations like Southside First and really each other, right? So when one of you can't come, please pass on the information to someone else, share the word, help somebody else be successful. Go and support them, right? So shop from each other, encourage each other, give each other feedback, and in continuous positivity, right? And so that's what we're here to do. Looking forward to listening to you all and hearing also from Gabriela what the stories that you tell her as the year progresses goes on.